Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the ultimate Halo review, an asterisk in 2022. It doesn't matter who I am. I've spent the time playing the game, I've spent the time watching the Paramount series. So when it relates to Halo in 2022, I'm here for you. I have all the answers. I'll start with TV series. It's trash. It's horribly written. It's confusing yet obvious. The pacing of the show actually makes my balls itch while I watch it. The acting is subpar at best, and they've had some legitimate actors on the show. Even Master Chief has like a legitimate acting background, but what they make him do is just so dumb and obvious. This is horribly written. It's terrible. Here's the thing you need to know about Paramount's Halo series. The commercials are superiorly compared to the Halo series. They are far more better, superior. The commercials are just way better written, far beyond galaxies far, far away, better than how the Halo series is written. The commercials. We're talking progressive. We're talking dog commercials. Commercials are far and beyond better than the TV series. And this is from an objective point of view. Here's why. And then I'll go into the details of why is Halo so horribly written? Why are the commercials better written than the TV series? Why does the show make your balls itch? I'd love to learn about all these things. I'm a Halo fan. I'm also a TV series binge watching connoisseur. I've seen every TV show you've seen. I've seen all of them, from South Park to Game of Thrones, The Office, Breaking Bad, Prano. Like, I've seen all the good, and also just like, haha, silly sci-fi. Like, I've seen everything you've seen. You're watching this right now. You made it this far. Guess what? We can relate, because I've seen everything you've seen. Now, with that being said, yeah, the Halo series is just poorly written. As a Halo fan, you can't even watch it. And I think that's where a lot of the negative criticism comes from. As a Halo fan, why am I watching a TV show where Master Chief has his suit off for most of the series? He definitely has his helmet off way more than has it on. I would argue that he has his suit entirely off versus on in the entire series. But it's a backstory about why John is sad and mad and mad. Like, as if we didn't see this in the Phantom Menace episode 1 of Star Wars. That's the thing too. Like, they've obviously taken so many elements from the Star Wars TV series and movies and put it into this show. Like, it's just obvious and bad. Like, it's poorly done. So as a Halo fan, you can't even relate to the show. Ooh, you see elites fighting Master Chief, and Master Chief fighting with Spartans, and there's Dr. Halsey, and there's supposed to be Cortana in the TV show, and there's all these elements that would make you go, why, yes, as a Halo fan, I should like this. And that's why you did the initial subscription, and you see the pilot episode, and like, oh, they're fighting? There's hope. Like, this is going to be a cool show. Even if it's not like the most entertaining, like, compelling story arc, spoiler alert, it's not. At least there'll be, like, fun CGI action, Master Chief action, all that fun stuff. No, there's none of that. And I can say none. Well, there's that one scene. There is less than an hour of action, and there is several hours of TV show. What's the point of watching it then? And what's hilarious is, like, all the action sequences are on YouTube. So you're better off just, like, watching the cool Halo sequences and all that fun stuff, all the action scenes on YouTube, than sitting through a horrible episode and then have a moment of action. Don't watch the series. It's not like episode by episode. There's like a little bit of action every. There's been Spartans versus Elites 3 times, maybe 4 tops. I want to say 3. The first episode, the pilot, and then it had to have been episode 5 or 4, or I think it's episode 5. The not Atriarchs, but Atriarch's character comes down and takes the element, or whatever the fuck the thing's called. It doesn't matter. The thing to unlock Halo. And so that happened. That was an action sequence. And then the very last episode, in episode 9, is action. Now, technically, there are fights amongst people in episode 8, which is stupid because there's a fight scene in a gym in the year 24, whatever, or 25, whatever. They're fighting in, like, a gym. They're in a ship in outer space fighting aliens. They're just duking it out with each other in a gym. Like, I'm just very... And scenes like that is every single scene in the show. It's all stupid and pointless and just nonsensical. If you are a Halo fan, you're going to hate the show because there's just not enough action. And the storyline will annoy you, will anger you. Like, it's so... I've watched the entire series from an objective, I'm watching a new TV show point of view. I've seen The Mandalorian, seen Boba Fett. Don't like Boba Fett. Didn't like that besides the last episode. Love Mandalorian. Really excited for Obi-Wan. I think that'll be done pretty well. The first 3 episodes, you can just tell they're 100% copy and pasting the Mandalorian script of like forcing this character named Quan, some child, and like, yeah, man, you're gonna be Master Chief's sidekick. Like, what are we doing, dude? And you're gonna be Master Chief's sidekick because Master Chief is going against the USNC and UNNC. I don't even know what the fuck it's called, guys. I don't care. Okay, the Spartan people. I'm not going to go into all the details of why it sucks, but I'm going to tell you like the main plot lines that, as someone who wasted my time watching the show, feels insulted for wasting my time watching the show. So the Quan thing, well, like I was talking about, the first 3 episodes, this is where the show like already falls apart. So episode 1, the pilot episode, you got these kids. They're doing drugs in the woods. That's cool. And all of a sudden their heads pop off. I'm fucking in. Here we go. That shit's cool. And then his action sequence, Master Chief shows up and saves the day. But one person who did the drugs and got killed, her entire species or community or whatever got extinct. Everyone who was at that planet and at that place and at that setting got murked by the Covenant. And that was later confirmed after the battle between the Spartans and the Covenant, because Master Chief said there's one living organism from whatever, one life confirmed or some shit like that. And they have the data. They have the analytics to confirm that. Now, what happens in episode 3 is we find out that apparently she's not the only one who survived that battle, even though she obviously was the only one who survived that battle. There's a moment at the end of the pilot episode, and I gotta keep referring to it as a pilot because episode 1 is the episode why Paramount decided to invest into the show. I think the pilot was done okay. Like I'd give it like a 7.2 out of 10. Like it wasn't anything captivating, but it was fun. Like, got the job done. I think episode 1 of the Halo series was better than every single episode of the Boba Fett series, except the last episode of the Boba Fett series. Obviously that episode was, I thought like, and it was like our own Halo world element. Now episode 2, episode 3, now we're in full Star Wars world where it's purely just like I can't think of the planet, but the same place where like it's literally Boba Fett world, because like Mandalorian is a lot more like open space, and then all of a sudden they're in place, but like the same towns, the same like city vibes and the civilian vibes, and even the sounds you hear, it's exactly like the same setting as Boba Fett, which is, I'm not a fucking virgin nerd, what is it called, Jakir or whatever, that place. It's the same planet for like civilians in the show that aren't with the USNC. Episode 1, 2, 3. In episode 1, in the pilot, they defined a problem. Master Chief somehow has this reaction to this element. The Covenant are defending another part of the element somewhere else. And then episode 2, they just focus on the Quan side story. Now, at the end of the pilot episode, I think this is what I was talking about earlier. I'm gonna lose track. I'm just here to ramble. That's why I'm trying to make my initial reviews and points first before I go into the deep dive of me being a psychopath. There's my dog. He knows I'm talking about him, huh? So at the end of episode 1, this last human alive, Quan, and again, like episode 2, 3, really 2 through 7, to try to make like Quan this like sidekick who's gonna grow up to be a badass thing. But at the end of episode 1, Quan's like, "You killed my mom." Told that to Master Chief. That was never once addressed ever again in the entire series. The next episode is just Master Chief and Quan, and they go back to a human planet and they do backstory on Master Chief as a child. In episode 3, same thing. Blah blah. Blah, Master Chief as a child, and all of a sudden this Covenant, who's a human but speaks Covenant, who's talking to the prophets, which by episode 3 you don't know that's the prophets because they don't introduce anything. That's the worst thing this show has done. Here's a highlight point. The show does not introduce or explain anything. Bring it around 2, 3, 4 episodes later, but when they introduce a new element, or when they introduce a new plot or character, action sequence, they don't explain why, who, what, where. They don't explain any of those things. So when I'm watching it, like when I'm watching The Sopranos, they give you like the main taste, the main squeeze of you're following Tony and he's the head of the mob and blah, blah, blah. Like you find those main side characters, and then they slowly introduce more, and then they slowly dive into the main side characters and also the main character himself. So that's the thing. Like they define who, what, why with characters. Who are they? What are they doing? Why are they here? In Halo, they didn't once. Who is Master Chief even? Which this is why. Now I'm on pause. Who is Master Chief? As a Halo fan, we obviously know. But as the head of 343 announced, but when they introduced him and said, hey, we're coming out with a TV series, and hey, we're going to have to look at this through a new lens. This is a new Halo, a new thing. Okay, so I'm watching that, and there's just a huge presumption everyone knows who Master Chief is. Which, yes, a lot of, like 90% of the people watching the show are watching it because they play the game, even though they made a TV show not intended for people who play the game, which is bananas. But you have to keep that in mind. They did not make the show for you as a Halo person. I'm assuming Halo people are watching this. They never explain who Master Chief is. You just know he's Master Chief. You know he's in charge of the Silver Team. He reports to the Halsey. But then you find out about his past, though. You find out who John is. You never find out about Master Chief, but you find out John was abducted. But you're confused because, like, okay, we're doing this backstory thing on a character that's not yet fully explained, but he's in a cool element. Like, we're in outer space, and the Covenant, and at the end of episode 2, what we find out is, like, the whole point of the series, right? A crackhead, some homeless drug addict, totally spoiler alerts, like the entire series of like that element thing that you have a connection to when you touched it in the pilot episode, and the reason why you're wondering what it does and its power, and it powered up your blah, 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 all these things. The reason why it's so powerful is because it's going to kill all of living things, all life forms. So they discover this in episode 2 and don't really follow up with it until episode 4 and 5. Episode 3 is just a complete random shit show of politics with other characters, some Quan bullshit, this Nazi regime guy that, again, none of it's explained. They're just introducing more shit without any sort of follow-up to, hey, what did we see in episode 1 and 2? There's no follow-up on that, but here's more shit. Okay, more confusion. Because in episode 3, the Covenant lady, the most important thing about that entire episode was she infiltrated a Spartan ship and took it over with the hunter worms things, which those things weren't explained either. And again, as a Halo fan, I know what they are, but as a person who hasn't seen Halo before, which is the whole point of them making this TV series, they're trying to introduce it to it. They're directing the TV series to like soccer moms and business dads, I guess, like the parents of people who are Halo fans. None of them are going to watch this shit. They weren't anyways. What they should do is worry about me. I'm in my 30s, people in their 20s, and maybe pretty much 20s and 30s are the Halo fans, right? 20s and 30s, make us love the show, and then hey, we have jobs, we have kids, we have relatives, we have friends. We can get our community to like rise up and watch the show if it's a good show, if it's cool. Because guess what? A lot of non-Star Wars people watch The Mandalorian because the hardcore fans are like, yeah, this is legit. Everyone should watch it. And then everyone watched it. The only good publicity that Halo is getting is Halo posting it themselves. Halo is letting you know that the Halo series is good. Halo is letting you know that the reviews that they allegedly paid for themselves is that it's a great show. But this is why I'm here to rant, because it's horrible. Now, again, in episode 3, episode 1 and 2, they happen. We'll just say that. They introduce this whole civilian world, this whole Spartan side thing. But episode 3 is so bad because they introduce more shit and something big happens and they don't even follow up on it until episode 5 when they're introduced. You're the worst dog ever. I am now aware that there is a total mess of dog toy behind the grief. So now we're in episode 4, but this is where I'm judging why the TV series is stupid, because we're in episode 3 and I have no idea what's going on. And nothing from episode 1 or 2 is explained or resolved. Episode 4, there's another new character. Here's Cortana, and now Cortana's just taking over. And here's the life of a Spartan on the ship and showing their gyms and locker rooms and stuff. And John takes out his feelings. We see his ass cheeks. I knew the series was over. Like when at the point when we saw Captain Chief's ass cheeks, we spent more time seeing Captain Chief's ass cheeks than we did of Master Chief shooting something, and that's just unexplainable. I'm like, I don't know what you want. Like, that's just unexplainable. Now we've also seen Master Chief undressed, like at least like chest up, more than we saw action. So again, what are we doing? It's just stupid because they're trying to make like this like feelings about John, but also creating these side plots about these side characters about how them having feelings too. But there's also like this huge element of like, hey, there's this thing called the Halo. It's going to wipe out all living life forms. And no one even cares or follows up with that until at the end of episode 5, when the coolest action sequence happened and they take the thing. And then we have episode 6, where there's a whole lot of nothing, a whole lot more subplots, a whole lot more character arc behind the character they introduced in episode 2 and 3. They also kidnap it. There's the start of episode 3. there's a scene of two kids making out, and then the Covenant, or I think it was like the humans, killing the kid, and then the Covenant come in and save the other kid, and they abduct the kid / save the kid. I watched the entire series, never got explained again. they abducted a child, brought it to the Covenant thing, like this older, white lady, prophet or Covenant or whatever, and they don't show any updates on her the entire series. That happened at the very beginning of episode 3. There were kids making out, then humans killed the kids, but then the Covenant saved one kid and abducted the kid / saved the kid, brought it back to the ship because she was a blessed one or something like that, which is who the other human Covenant person is a blessed one. They don't bring her up once. They don't even leave her as like a cliffhanger at the end of episode 9. They just don't bring her up again. So it's a lot of that. What I just told you about how, hey, there's a this, but there's no explanation. There's no reason behind seeing this. That's the entire series of the Halo Paramount series. Hey, I'm watching this, and there's no rhyme or reason why this is happening. There's no explanation. There's no direction of, well, where is this going to go? Again, episode 3, in like the middle of the episode, not the end, this chick takes over a Spartan ship, and then like they don't even acknowledge that it happened until the end of episode 5. But like they just talk about it. They're like, yeah, that happened. Like, what the fuck? Then again, they talk about in episode 6, like, oh my gosh, she was the one who did the thing. It's just dumb. And then episode 7 is hysterical. It's hysterical. They wasted an entire episode on Quan because like they randomly placed her nowhere in the middle of the desert with Master Chief's old buddy, and I guess it didn't have a good time. Like, again, they don't explain it that well because episode 4 was them being in the city that is a very Star Wars like. And again, with the whole Quan side plot thing, she's not even explained well because the main time we saw her was in the pilot episode, the first episode, where her whole everything was killed in front of her. And at the end of the episode, she was like, yeah, Master Chief, you killed my mom. Now we're serving through a town, and there's people who recognize Quan, and she remembers this one kid who got murdered in episode 1, but is there now. But now she's going against a Nazi guy. Now she's trying to kill the Nazi guy. Yeah, there's a random Nazi guy, and we see his ass cheeks too. The best actor they hired was this Nazi guy, who pretty sure has played similar villain type of roles before. Brilliant actor. And they have him doing like nothing, and they like kill him again. We don't even really know why he's there, and they kill him, and it's like, why? What now? Like, so they spend an entire episode to like, okay, we'll tie a bow on this Quan thing. Quan's gonna kill the Nazi, and no one's gonna have any questions about this ever again. Because what they did in episode 1, 2, 3 was make it like pretty Quan centric. In episode 4, Quan centric, but then episode 5, they're introducing the problem in episode 2, which is the fact that there's this thing, the artifact that can unleash the Halo, which kills all humanity. So the urgency of what was told in episode 2 hasn't been addressed until episode 5. And then pretty much episode 5 and 6, they did not address the things that were brought up in 1, 2, 3, which was Quan bullshit. They then dedicate one ass episode 7, to try to give you some behind the story. Oh, Quan was upset at her dad when her dad died, which we saw her seeing her dad die in an interaction that they had before her dad died. She didn't seem any sort of negative emotion, not annoyed, not mad. I wouldn't say she was like super happy to be with her dad, but like there's a scene before like the Covenant invade in episode 1 where like this group of people are together. It's friendly-ish, like it's not negative. And now all of a sudden they dedicate this episode 7 where like, I'm a mad teenager and I was pissed off at my dad and now he's dead. And they don't even address the mom. They just address it. Hey, mom's not here right now. Even in her backstory, they do a backstory at the first half of episode 7 to address Quan, which no one's giving a shit about, by the way. It was a bad Baby Yoda Mandalorian thing. It was terrible. But they felt like they needed to fucking wrap it up. And it did it horribly. And even in an episode dedicated to Quan, you're so confused. Because in episode 1, her entire everything she knew, everyone she loved died. And then this backstory, they're like, yeah, man, everyone's here. And then like I said, episode 4, she's running into people like, oh, that's my homie. What's up, man? Oh, Quan, you're the most wanted person ever. Like, what the fuck? And none of that was ever explained either. Why was she the most wanted person ever? It's just a lot of bad writing. And then episode 8 and 9, the final 2 episodes, it's dumb. sucked. The action sequence in episode 9 was horrendous. Even on the eyes, like, it was cool to see the different angles that they did. Like, you saw one fight, but you also saw background fight. Like, it was detailed, but it was dumb because, like, this almighty Atriox character, it's not the Atriox, unless it ends up being the Atriox, which they don't. Again, he appears in 2 episodes that don't explain who the hell he is. Had, like, every opportunity to kill the one Spartan lady and Master Chief, and I guess he did technically kill him at the end. They're able to escape with the ease because Cortana's taken over. The ending was stupid, and they carry the artifact because John's spirit isn't in there. So John's spirit is pointless, and that's what Dr. Halsey was trying to do. Is, hey guys, this life is meaningless. Might as well just kill yourself because that's the only way we're gonna exist in another world. Which, what a happy hunky dory feeling that is for the whole family to get around and watch. Dr. Halsey pretty much, I think, poisoned herself or some shit so she can be in an afterlife thing, and John kills himself so humanity can be saved / he can be somewhere. It's the theme of the shit, because, like, at the end it was just this big narrative from Dr. Halsey saying how, like, humans were so arrogant and ego and this and that, but we really need to unite, get together to talk about the formality of existence and, blah, 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 blah. And our species can't even comprehend what's coming on next. And so we should just kill. So that gives her a reason to abduct kids from their families, start her own, like, super Spartan species, and then kill herself or fake kill herself, because that's not even what happened. Because then you want to go back to the Halo lore. That's why I said that's not what happened. Because the Halo lore, honestly forget when she dies. Was it Reach? But we see her, we witness her. She does her thing. Maybe was at the end of episode? I don't know. Dr. Halsey dies in the Halo series. What we've witnessed is before the Halo series, allegedly, maybe. Who knows? It's just confusing. Like, they kill her in this TV show, but she's alive in the game. And then, like, Captain Keyes is black, which is... The only reason I bring that up is because where's Avery Johnson? That dude was cool. We don't need to have this, like... The thing that makes me upset about the Captain Keyes not being white is the fact they brought, was it Lieutenant Hood or whatever, who looks just like what Captain Keyes looks like in the video game. It's like, do that. And make the character who plays Captain Keyes in the TV show, make him Avery Johnson, and have a fun, awesome character. Like, you have a badass character in the series that you're not representing on the TV show. This is bad. I don't know how it gets picked up again, other than the fact that Microsoft is funding. If you see a season 2, it's just sponsored by Microsoft ads, and it's going to be a shit product. It's a shit series from an objective standpoint. As a Halo fan, it's unbearable. Like, nothing makes sense. But again, as me watching a new series and trying to follow along. See, I follow along the Boba Fett, and, like, the reason why I didn't like it is it's not because we saw Boba Fett unhelmeted so much. We see him after that fight in Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, where the worm eats it, but then he escapes the worm. But then, like, I didn't like the whole sand people thing, and, like, that's who he feels tried and true to. Like, if we're gonna get in, like, some sort of backstory, it should have been more of, like, how he became a bounty hunter, maybe his early stages of being a bounty hunter, instead of, like, a congruent timeline with the actual Star Wars movies. And then he owns this town that Jabba the Hutt owned, and like, it's whatever. But it's whatever. Like, it was still fine. Like, the acting in it was decent. The action scenes were cool. Especially the last episode was phenomenal. The last episode of Star Wars Boba Fett series was fucking gangster, son. But see, like, that type of action sequence, that type of awesomeness, and oh my god, this is crazy, that can make or break a series. Like, I can forget all the shitty plot lines and confusion and being lost and having obvious endings. Like, when they... At the end of episode 5, when the Atriox takes the element, but then they shoot down the girl, the Covenant spy person, pretty much. First of all, I thought they were going to do something cool in episode 5 and shoot down the Flood. Like, oh man, that would be sick. They introduce the Flood, because we've seen remnants of the Flood in the background of, like, the Spartan labs and shit like that, but they were never explained, and which is a whole big deal of the Halo, by the way. The Flood's a huge deal in the Halo series, by the way. But the Halo series shows them, but doesn't utilize them. Instead, they shoot down her, and of course, Master Chief is like, "Are you okay?" Like, so gullible all of a sudden. And I immediately, like, at episode 5, like, when that happened, I immediately called. I was like, she's gonna manipulate him to then be like, we were brother sister, I knew our mom, I'm going to manipulate you this way because we're related, or we're loved ones in a past life or a future life, and we're going to connect, and this is why we're connected now. Sure enough, they went with that route, and they forced them to have sex, and that was weird and awkward. They have a Cortana cuckold scene, not necessary. Great meme. It's honestly the best the best scene in the whole TV series. Not any of the fight sequences, just Cortana getting cucked and her just looking in so much shock and agony. So yeah, Cortana gets cucked. That's the Halo series. Now let's talk about Halo Infinite. There's a lot of reviews and a lot more popular Halo YouTube people who complain about the game and the game is bad. I'm here to echo those things. The game is bad, but I'm also here to talk about the things that like reviews and articles aren't talking about why the game is bad. And I'll just talk season 2. Season 1 is what it is what it is. Season 2, we're bringing this last man standing. We're bringing 2 maps, and here's a trailer of our new map. There's 2 of them total. Like, if you're a ranked competitive player, what? Do you have 1 new map in 8 months or 7 months, whatever it is? 1 new map, and you want to like show it off like it's the greatest thing ever? Spin Zone, it's not the greatest thing ever. It's not the worst. It's not the worst. But it's not the greatest map ever. Like, it's not the best map in Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite's maps are, well, they're overplayed, so it's like hard to give them a honest opinion. I think I liked Aquarius, and I actually liked Bazaar, even though they got pulled from ranked because no one knew what they were doing. All I had to do was team flag cap. That's all you had to do. Fight the bottom, have someone watch one of the towers with the sniper rifle, have a blessed day. But running that on Team Slayer is stupid, like, which I don't think it was in ranked. I think it was just capture the flag. It may have been Team Slayer. But regardless. People complained about, I can't figure this out. Is super solvable. But they also bring King of the Hill. King of the Hill is the best thing that happened in this season. Even the King of the Hill social playlist is great, but there's no reason to grind it other than to rank up your paid. Quantify this. Like, you pay $10 so you can grind so you can get armor colors. There's not any specific rank to it. There's not any specific stats to it. It's just, yeah, I played casual to unlock the things I paid for, and that's social. And then when you play ranked, this is one thing I haven't seen out. Maybe there's articles out there. I don't know. But this is definitive post season 2 rollout. In ranked, you only rank up if you win. I have receipts. Hit me up for receipts. I got a lot of saved me angry, screaming at my TV post game rants. I've gone we're talking like top 5 matches I've ever played. Like, I was MVP. I was all these things. I had top objective, top kills, and we lose. And of course, we always lose when it's objective based. Top of everything. Again, we'll say objective time and kills. I'm number 1 ranked out of 8. That's what the Halo tracker counts. Is like pretty much if you finish top 4, then in top 4, what was your KDA and objective stuff. But I was number 1 ranked. Someone from my team quit, so we lose. What the fuck? I can be in last place in the game, number 8, but we win and I rank up, even though I didn't necessarily contribute. What is this? What is the game? So like, you play ranked, and you're only going to rank up if you win. It is impossible to rank up if you lost. And if you have ranked up after losing, please show me. I want to see your receipts. Because since season 2, they've made it so, all right, you win, and then how much you rank up is random. You can get all the kills in the world, and you conquer the world, and you might just rank up just this much, or you can be like 2nd or 3rd place and rank up this much, or maybe you do go in 1st place and you do rank up a lot, but you're not going to rank up if you don't win. I've lost and been the MVP of the game, and I've lost a lot of rank. I've lost and lost a player during the game and was MVP of the game and lost little rank. I've never like not lost rank, and I've never gained a little rank. Like, hey man, I balled out. My team lost. Is what it is. Here's like a little rank up. Nope, it's just rank down. The consistency of the ranking system has been an issue since the launch of the game. They've even reset it, and it's still having issues. And now let's talk about the in-game play. Grenades? What the fuck? The explode radius is random. Just like, well, it's not random if you rank up or rank down. How much you rank up or rank down is random. You're only going to rank up if you win. You only rank down if you lose. Period. How much? That's random. Just like throwing a frag grenade at someone. How much is it going to take down their shields? Where's the blast radius going to be? Because I was playing streets, spawning at sea, and like I would start running out, and someone would see me start shooting me from either A or tires. Start shooting me. They throw a grenade. I see them throw the grenade, so I evade towards the ball spawn. I'm even to the left of the ball spawn, but they threw it straight behind me, like towards the front of C. So I'm basically in front of the C stairs, and they threw a grenade back here in front of the C entrance, and it will hit me. The grenade impact blast radius. But someone's chasing me, like meleeing me, and melees, they don't sync. That's random. I've seen it happen on kill cams of my teammate not having things register. I've seen this clip on YouTube, and I've seen it in person. Someone flying in with a sword that I didn't even notice. I should have been killed, and now I get to melee him twice in the back, even though it should have only been once. But you know. So there's already decent stuff with like everything, but like the grenades, it's like, so someone's chasing me, I'm fucked. I'm gonna throw 2 grenades. I throw one, it explodes, it pops their shields. I throw the other one, it won't explode. It explodes and doesn't kill them. It explodes and repops their shields. It explodes and their shields are healed. Like, I've seen so many variations of like, who knows? I've seen sticky grenades bounce off of people. I've seen sticky grenades go through people. I've seen sticky grenades be overthrown on someone, but it lands on their feet and there counts as a stick. I've seen some crazy fucking shit. So the game is broken still. And like the big thing of season 2 was like, yeah, we updated the game. And guess what, guy? Oh yeah, rockets don't kill people. When season 2 first came out, for 48 hours, it was great, rock solid. And then the Xbox Live Marketplace took a shit, so like not as many people could get on and play. And then ever since then, the game has stunk. It has stunk. The desync issues are like worse than it ever was. The grenade thing is the biggest thing to me because if you hop on Master Chief Collection, I'm like getting kills and I'm like flabbergasted. Oh god, a grenade killed someone? Oh god, that thing did. I got a double kill from a grenade when everyone's in a tight room? How? I didn't know you could do that. I noticed people were battling on the objective and like my teammates died, but they battled, so I was able to throw 2 grenades and I got like a double or triple kill. Do that in Infinite, same thing. I get 1 kill, and we're talking all 3 people are one shots. So you threw 2 grenades. Go fuck yourself. It's a bad game. It's disappointing because like it is like the only game I would like to spend time playing. That's why I'm like spending an hour yelling into a thing. But no, this is the ultimate Halo review in 2022. I wish I had 3 hands so I can give them titties 3 thumbs down. Ow! I broke my finger. The TV show is worse than the game, I think, because like the game, I mean, the comparisons are like, well, Halo Reach came out with Forge, Halo 5 had Reach within a month, or Halo 5 had Forge within a month of release. But like, I don't have any hope in Halo Infinite, but I think in 3 years it's more playable. I don't think it's gonna be like ever I'm gonna spend or commit a bunch of time playing it, because nor am I ever buying another battle pass again, because the one thing that they're like totally neglecting is people who play ranked. 343 Industries has come out multiple times. There's multiple articles. Look at Sean Dubs, look at the Googles, the heads of 343, that we don't care about the hardcore fans. They refer to the hardcore fans as a toxic community because we give honest opinions. Like, your game sucks still. Glad you think I'm toxic, but your game is toxic. The only people actively playing the game are mentally ill folks. Like, and that's on the game too. This is a fun tidbit. I have never experienced a more toxic voice chat community than the Halo Infinite community, because of course the only people with like sanity and patience and have lives don't have time to play a game that's broken. They're just going to move on and play something else. Unfortunately, it's the only game I like, and I'm mentally ill. So I have to be mentally ill. I'm still playing the game. But even with all that being said, the TV series is worse than the game because it had nothing but potential and money. You're funded by both Microsoft and Paramount. What are you doing? You had a decent cast. The CGI thing worked great. You guys had great scenes and, cosmetics and all that. And what did you do? You ruined Halo. But yeah, that's all I got. The game sucks. It might be playable in 3 years. If anyone, I would love to like live debate someone who thinks the TV show is good or that Halo Infinite's good, which I don't think anyone's going to do that one. But there have been, I'm assuming they're all allegedly paid for reviews. But if there's someone who legitimately likes the series and liked how the series ended, please let's talk about it. I'd love to hear your point of view. Actually, that was my vagina.